Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing two more of the Minecraft Miniverse. I believe they're both weapons. I think this is the diamond sword, which will be cool. This initially I thought was the cow, but then they updated the sheets and I think it's the bow and arrow now. So it might be a little bit of a mystery. But they do have pencil marks on this side where you see the CE and then these two little icons. There's a dot here in the middle. So that should be the diamond sword. And then on this one, where is the pencil mark? Sometimes you have to stare at it in a moment to see it. It's right here, I think. Yeah, sometimes they're very tiny and sometimes they're more obvious. But let's get the wrapper off and we'll see if these are correct. Okay, I think this one's going to be the diamond one unless I mixed up the containers. We have our resin, our crafting table. Okay, well, it's a weapon of some sort because there's the handle for it. I'm excited to have the molds because, as you may know if you've been following along, I've made all sorts of custom creations and pickaxes and things like that. This is double-sided tape. This is the nozzle and our little scooper thing. The mold is always hidden on this back half, so don't freak out if you can't find it. There's 3 different pieces that open, or 2 technically, I guess. But yes, it is the sword. That's exciting. And then this turns into a display case where you can use a double-sided tape to put it there. And then this clips back on, so that's the back of it. This is the stand, but we will be using that piece to mash up that stuff. So let's take a glance at the checklist. We've gotten pretty many of these so far. We do have that handle that will snap together. We're going to crush those blocks to get a little blue piece, and then we're going to crush that. So that's going to give us that mica, and that's what we're going to use to make the sword. So excited to have this mold. I'm going to make all sorts of custom swords. Shake up the resin, pour it in. This is the symbol for sunlight, so you're going to cure it for 15 minutes. I definitely recommend doing it longer than that. The resin doesn't cure as fast as their other resins that are normally used. And I also flip it over too and cure the other side, even though it doesn't tell you to do that. So this takes me a really long time to make these because I over cure it. So, all right, let me clean up just a tad and then we will start this one. Okay, so step 1, we need to open this. Rip the plastic off. This block, ooh, that's pretty. It's gray and blue. I was throwing that stuff away. Now I save it because sometimes I mix it in with, oh, sorry. I was so confused for a minute because the other ones you snap 2 pieces together. And I was looking at the picture. Long story short, it looked like the picture was saying to snap it together, but there's nothing to snap it to, blah, blah, blah. So what is important is the print side goes down, because this is not the top of the sword. This is the top of the sword. So make sure you put it in there. And I have had issues with the resin running this way. So I'm really hoping it doesn't do that this time. So I might like hold this down and apply pressure while I pour it in hopes that it doesn't go in there. So yeah, now where's my crushing tool? This, we're gonna go like this. You don't need much pressure. It breaks pretty easily. And then it kind of looks like a, oh no, crushed a little too hard. We weren't supposed to do that. Gotta take out this blue piece. Honestly, that's probably plenty. It looks like a Lego at the bottom, so it's really easy to kind of grind up those pieces. So now let's mix this one up just a little. It says to put 1 scoop of this in the sword. I'm assuming the resin's a blue shade though, so this part may not be super important, but like I always say, we're going to find out. Yeah, it's not too much. I might try to pick some of these out and add that in here just in case, because it doesn't look like it's 1 full scoop. That's why it's important to have tweezers and other materials to help you with this stuff. The ones I use are a pack of 3 that I got on Amazon pretty cheap. I think I have it linked in the description box. I try to link stuff I use down there just in case you're curious, like my light and whatnot. Okay, that should probably be good, I think. Okay, now let's sprinkle some of this in here. Turn it that way maybe and just gently tap it. I think this is just going to give it a little bit of texture in there. It actually just shows you putting it here, so does not show anything in the handle. But some of this stuff you could swirl around with a toothpick, so if you want it moved, it's definitely going to go places when you put resin in there. So something like that. Another thing I forgot to mention is that if you collect these, I use all the resin from it and then I cure them and then put them back together, because if you save all of them and you get the full series, it does make a portal, and it does show you that on the checklist. They don't like clip together or anything like that. It just you stack them kind of like blocks. So this is very lightly tinted blue. It's almost clear, but there is a hue of color. So I'm going to start down here and start adding it. Just let it kind of settle a little. I think this is going to look interesting with the crushed pieces in it. And then you could look eye level to make sure it's flat across there. You don't want it like too low or too high. Let's start adding it down here. And just keep pressure there. I guess I could cure one piece, or that top piece rather, and then come back and do this. So there's not so much going on. Since this is so clear though, I guess it's really not going to matter too much if it gets down there. The other builds had like color in them and it was more obvious. All right, time to cure, and then we'll be back for the big reveal. Okay, so there was a bubble that developed there. Might be able to fill it in depending on how far up or down it is. I did spray it with alcohol though. I keep a little sprayer with some rubbing alcohol, and that will take off any surface bubbles, and it does a pretty good job. This resin does not feel as sticky as the other ones did. Oh, how cute! I love it. Of course you can see like the big chunks in there. It's not like nicely blended, but it does have a blue hue. And that bubble, I guess it's right in the middle because it's not on the top or the bottom of it. So you can't really see it when it's like that. So that's really cool. I'm excited. Can't wait to repurpose that. I do have some blue mica. Maybe I'll dust in there and do that part again. And then I have brown. I could make a handle. That might look really cool. All right, now let's see what this is. And this one. Sometimes these come open very easily and sometimes not. There we go. Okay, so we have another crafting table. We can just go ahead and peek on here real quick. See if we're right. That's the portal you can make with all the resin containers. Oh, it is a bow and arrow. Okay, that took a minute for me to figure out. Ooh, it comes with a spider. That's cool.
Oh,
so,
yeah, because you need string.
Oh, you're smart. She said because it needs a string.
I played Minecraft before.
Okay, thank you. So the mold that it came with is for the arrow we're making. So that part should be pretty easy. Same kind of process. We're crushing stuff. We're getting that. We're crushing that. It's going to turn it to like a silver or a white. What does that signify? Something else we're crushing. It says not to do it in the green thing for whatever reason. Okay. Then we're going to, one's for the tip, the other one's for the back piece. So maybe two different shades. Adding the resin, curing it for 15 minutes, taking that out, and then inside the spider is this piece that we have to connect, and that will make a bow and arrow. This one looks really fun. I'm excited for this. So another crafting table. We have our pieces in here. Okay, a feather. I think that's what that is. So things we're going to be crushing. Yeah, it looks like a feather right there.
Oh yeah, that's a feather.
And then we also have a package, and I guess this is our spider friend. Sorry, I already ripped it. Look how cute he is, and he opens.
Wait, can I go and show Jackson?
Oh my gosh, it's a rubber band.
This is inside.
Okay, that's cute.
Can I go and show Jackson?
In just a second. And then we have this part. So lots of pieces. Again, I'll clean up and we'll start making it. The first thing it wants us to do is put this piece in. They kind of look the same. Does it tell you? Okay, it has to go that way? Question mark? No. No, duh. You need room for on each end. So this is the pointy part, that's the back end. And then again, same with the last one, print side down, because this is the back of it, not the top of it. Now we need to open this piece, and we're going to crush some stuff up in our crafting table. We have that, a white feather that is so cute. Hopefully you can see the detail on that. Adorable. So we're going to use the lid of this to put this in here and crush it. Okay, just apply a little pressure. Once you feel it kind of crack. I don't think the stone is revealed yet. Normally it's pretty obvious. I think it's this piece. Yes, this piece. So I'm going to set that off to the side. Give this just a light crushing to make sure. Yeah, that's just like a gray color. So I'm going to use the other lid that we used for the blue one. Put that in there. Crush that. Oh, I was just about to say, I don't know how this black piece of coal is going to turn to a white color. But yeah, it's definitely, it's color changing. There's white inside. Some of it's kind of stuck in the thing. It says you're supposed to get 1 scoop out of it. I'm not even going to measure it because I'm sure it's essentially all of this because there's hardly anything in there at all. Okay, so now this powder is going to go at the pointy part, like the front end of the arrow. I'm super good at describing things, I know. I'm gonna tap it in here and just kind of brush it off. It'll be fine. That's a lot. Yeah, I guess that's accurate. Okay, now we're gonna take the feather, put the feather in there. Gonna repeat that process to crush this up. Again, it says to use 1 scoop, which should be this entire thing, I would assume. And then that's gonna go in that back part of the arrow. So let's tap that in there. That's so much. See, I'm scared if you use all that, there's not gonna be enough resin in there. Sometimes if there's less resin, then it makes like air bubbles or there's like gaps in it, if that makes sense. So I'm just gonna stop there. And I'm probably honestly gonna mix it a little bit with resin, or yeah, with a toothpick, just gently to make sure everything's touching, because I am a little concerned. So now we gave it a little shake. We're going to put our nozzle on, and we're going to add resin to here and here, and then cure it. So I'm gonna put just a couple drops, like 2 drops. And then, okay, that is kind of wetting it down decently. Let's take my toothpick just want to make sure that resin gets at the very bottom. I also hope, probably already got under there. Like these, whatever you call it, the plastic pieces that they give you to put in here, they fit great. But they do kind of like tilt up, so now I'm concerned there's white resin there. I probably should have done one side at a time if I'm being honest. But we're a little too far in for that. So we will just do what we can. And like I always say, we can make custom arrows if all else fails. I'm going to try to apply them both sides like that. Pop the bubbles. I gently mix over here. There's an area over here too. Oh yeah, it's got to come all the way over there. See, that piece doesn't really go over there, so make sure you're looking at it real good. I'm trying to move some of that over there. And add a little bit more resin. And then we can cure it. That's going to take a while to cure, so let's build this part. So let's face them down. And they should just connect like little puzzle pieces where they only go one way. And they should snap nicely. I only had one issue with the very first build I did. There, see, that one wasn't working, so if you try that one, then it snaps right in. Okay. You could add a little super glue for stability if you wanted, which probably would be a pretty good idea. So we have that. This is kind of interesting where it tells you to take it out and then it switches all the way over to here. So I think you're supposed to use two things of tape. You're going to stick one here so that the arrow can stick to it, and then stick one there so that the whole creation can stick to the thing. I don't know if that's necessary. Plus those squares are so big, I feel like you're going to be able to see it. But it shows this is stretched across these longer pieces here, which, as I just demonstrated, might be a little difficult. Oh, maybe not. Okay, no, it's not difficult. I'm just not giving them the benefit of the doubt. That's all you do. It just stretches out like that. So now we just have to wait on our arrow, and then you could put tape here if you want and stick the arrow there, and then tape on the other side to stick it to the display. Is the bow done? No. Are we already making a custom? Yes. I had some maple syrup resin from a really old series. So I put a little bit here in the handle and cured that. I think that lighter color is going to look cool with this blue. I have some blue hue dust. Lord knows what this is from. One of the lifestyle series, I think. So I'm going to take this and kind of just lightly paint it. Then we're going to add in that bluish resin and see how that looks. Because I think this will look cool. There are those little square prints at the bottom of these molds. You could do like multicolor ones, which you kind of saw me do with the pickaxe. I made like Christmas looking ones and all sorts of crazy stuff, but I think this is going to look cute. And you can add more of this dust. I think this is the blue one we're about to find out. Yeah, it is. You can add more of that and swirl it with a toothpick, depending on how blue you want it. Hopefully there's enough resin in here. Most likely there is. But if not, I do have a lot of clear resin. And this is how I've been using up all my resin, because I have so much of it. Actually, the supply is getting low because I've just made that many customs. Sometimes at night when it's like too dark and the lighting isn't good to actually film, I'm just in here making customs. I think I will add more blue, don't you think? I guess you don't want it too dark because you don't want it like way darker than the handle maybe. Actually, I don't know, that might look cool. Maybe I won't add any more. Just trying to fill it and look straight across to make sure everything's like an even layer, and then I'll cure it. This might look cool, and I'll show you at the end what it looks like. Okay, I think this one's ready, but the crossbow, or the arrow rather, seems a little sticky, so I'm leaving it under there even though it's been curing longer than this one. Ooh, that's cute. Okay, so my custom, theirs. Obviously the handle's way cooler than that one, but I could do darker in there just like they did. And I probably will on future ones that I make, but it's a very nice shimmery blue. And I don't think, I did spray it with alcohol, I don't see any, oh, maybe there's a bubble there, but you have to look like super close to see it. But yeah, those are my first custom. So leave me a comment, let me know what you think about that, and let's look at the arrow. Okay, let's gently release it. It's popping out pretty nicely. Okay, that's pretty cool. See the white and the gray. That's pretty cute. I like that. So when you lay it like that, so you can put the tape here, or the, yeah, I guess it is tape. So it sticks. I'll probably cut it in half. And then you put the other half back there, and then affix it to the little display. First, we will mount our sword. This one I don't think I'm gonna cut because I think it's okay. I'm gonna put it in this wider part right here. Lightly press it, and then you can peel it off. Peeling it off is perhaps the most difficult part. Trying to lift that backing off. There we go. So it looks something like that. And then they always put theirs at an angle going across. And just gently tap it down. And voila. Now I've said this before. This is the base. It doesn't snap or anything, but it does line up like a nice little block there. So that's how you display it. I just realized I didn't clean this out yet, but that's okay. You know what it's supposed to look like. So here we have that. And this is supposed to be a two-parter. So I think I will cut this in half. I'm going to take this small strip and put it behind the arrow. Again, gently press. Okay, so I peeled the backing off. Now this is going to be pressed like this. I guess however far up you want it. And then we're going to put a little strip here, that other half of it. And you don't have to display it this way, but it is super cute. However, since I've collected, I haven't collected all of them yet, but I mean, we have a lot. So it's taking up a lot of space in Jackson's room. Okay, let's flip it like that. I'm going to take this back off because I feel like I'm going to have to press it, or stabilize it from behind here while I press down on that so that we get a good little connection there. All right. Okay. As soon as I pushed it in. Oh, cool. Reset it in there. It does kind of, I guess you could tape that back in too. Looks a little wonky. Definitely 3D. So that's what we have today. Leave me a comment. Which one do you like better? Do you like the crossbow? Do you like the diamond sword? I like them both. I think it's going to be really fun to repurpose this mold. Of course, I can make custom arrows too, and that'll also be fun. But leave me your thoughts below. I like hearing them. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, guys.